Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Stranger Things in context from a Dungeon Master's viewing. So we're in Season 1, Episode 2, and we're looking at the Weirdo on Maple Street, and we're looking at the Hawkins, specifically the Hawkins Police Department. And I want to talk about Florence. So Florence is the secretary in Jim Hopper's office, right? Now, this gets really interesting. What so Florence is very mothering to Jim Hopper. And I was really fascinated by this. He walks in, she like pulls he's smoking. She pulls the smoke out of his mouth, just pulls the cigarette right out of his mouth, hands him coffee, right? Actually, she hands, I think he had, I'm sorry, he had coffee and she hands him an apple. She's like, you need to eat, right? She mothers him. It's incredible. Like, she's like really mothering. And also she uses mothering energy to like get him to stop behavior she doesn't want him to do, which I think would be completely inappropriate in any work context if there wasn't this mothering role, right? And so why does Jim Hopper put up with this? One, I think, when we're looking at Jim Hopper, who's going to become a major hero in the Duffer Brothers story, we're looking at a man that people love, like genuinely. She loves him, right? Like, she genuinely cares about him, right? And for him as a person, right? And I think the both Officer Powell and Officer Callahan, there's a lot of clues that everyone really cares for Jim Hopper, right? And it's also interesting that he doesn't do anything to stop this. He really fully accepts her just mothering him, which is really wild because Jim don't take no guff, like he's a tough guy. He doesn't let people shove him around, except Florence. She literally shoves him around, right? And makes him stop doing what she doesn't want him to do and makes him do what she wants him to do, right? Now, why else is this happening? Well, Florence is highly competent, right? And this is a thing. I think a buddy of mine, he works at in his job, he said that like people who are extremely competent, right, and actually more than competent, like highly skilled, right, that they're giving them a little more leeway, which I thought was really fascinating, right? And I think that's definitely the case of what's happening here with Florence, is that she is being given deference and abilities because of her incredible competence, right? And actually, I would say high skill level. And she handles a ton of things for Jim Hopper that he doesn't have to handle, in my humble opinion. Florence is a very interesting character. I really encourage you to rewatch Stranger Things from the perspective of a dungeon master. You'll find out a lot. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.